Yeah, Justin, this is proof you got to do shit yourself nowadays.
Hey man, that's what we was just talking about.
Yeah, you can't sit around and wait for nobody, man.
We was like the industry makes you independent. Now
Exactly.
you don't got no goddamn choice anyways.
Exactly. Or give up.
Or give up, bro.
Yeah, go get a regular job.
That's a fact, and
You
we
know
ain't
what I
trying
mean?
to do that, bro. I'm not trying.
Exactly.
What's the dude from Cosby Show? What was his name?
Oh yeah.
Shout out to
I
him.
forgot the light skin dude.
Yeah. They gave him work and took it away
Whole
already.
Foods or something when he
Hey,
worked
man.
at Whole Foods.
Let me tell you why that hit a chord with me. I used to be a bag boy at Publix.
For real?
Yeah. When I
What
was
city?
St. Petersburg, Florida. That's
where
I'm
you're
from.
from?
Yeah.
I hear your accent all the time. Like, what country town is this nigga from? Is it okay to cuss on this?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing.
Saying bitch, nigga, bitch, nigga.
Hey, did we start? Or are you gonna give me an intro? So I don't want.
I'm gonna give you an intro, but we might keep that. But
okay, cool.
Hey man, we got a super legend, man. Urban Legendz, man. This is big, man. This is the first in studio Urban Legendz episode. Yo, a true legend in the game. We talking about Players Club. Don't be a menace. We talking about the Jamie Foxx show. A writer was a writer for Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to get into that, man. We got the one and only Mr. Alex Thomas. If I had some claps, I would.
Thank you, brother.
You know, I feel like in person, I gotta clap it up.
I appreciate that, man. But let's talk, man. That's what we got to do. Is this dialogue, man. We're the youngsters and the people that are coming up. One thing I love about podcasts, and I love it when like guys like you are doing. You know, they see you on stage or they see movies, but a lot of times in like setups like this, they find out stuff about people that they would have never known, or you know what I mean? What you and I are doing here has nothing to do with our jokes on stage. This is just us doing what we do, personality. This is how comics sit around and talk.
That's a fact. So this was actually something I had because I've talked to some people from LA. It's usually it took them a while to realize that Hollywood was right next door. How long did it take you? Because you from LA. Like how old were you when you was like, damn, I want to be a comedian. The shit is 20 minutes.
Yeah, the improv's one bus ride away. No, it's funny you bring that up because my story's a little different and weird. You're probably gonna find out a lot of stuff about me today.
I can't wait.
That you never do. Well, first things first, I grew up in the entertainment business.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And a lot of people don't. My dad was in one of the biggest bands of all time.
Which one?
It's called Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, your dad was in Earth, Wind, and Fire?
My dad actually started Earth, Wind, and Fire with Verdine and Maurice. They were called the Phoenix Horns. So my dad was the wind of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He was the trombones, the trumpets, and all. What's so crazy is just recently, I think on CBS, about during COVID, they had something the Lincoln Center honors thing on the CBS,
or the Kennedy Center.
The Kennedy said something big, and they honored Earth, Wind, and Fire. And my dad hit me. It was like, turn on the TV, and they showed some of the early days because my dad was original Earth, Wind, and Fire up until like 1981, 82. So he doesn't tour with them anymore or anything, but just as a kid, I remember.
Let's get into that story.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, no, for real. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I remember this first time I ever smelled weed when I was like 5, 6 years old because they used to, rehearse in my living room.
That's wild.
You know, reel to reels. I mean, like, there's baby pictures of me with like a young, James Brown and Patrice Rushen and all these people that my dad worked with before Minnie Riperton died. My dad produced on her album, and so I grew up in the music business. I grew up with 2 pianos in the house and every single horn you can think of, and end up telling jokes for a living. And I can't play shit.
This is what I want to know. What were 1960s groupies like?
This nigga just made me sound like I'm 97. Well, back when me and Martin Luther King were hitting hoes together, nigga, I'm not that old. God damn.
How were the flappers back in the day?
No, it's so funny. I tell people, like, it's funny you bring that up. So my younger brother asked me, he was like, do comedians have groupies and hoes? And I was like, well, absolutely. I said, It ain't just rock stars and singers. And like, he's like, who has the most hoes and groupies? Like, my little brother really asked me all this. And I was like, man, that's a question I never thought that I would get. But I said, put it this way. It's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody from Hank Aaron to Marvin Gaye had bitches. Don't think that not somebody's auntie in this room sucked the OJ's dicks.
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I mean?
That's right.
Somebody's mama fucked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Dr. Dre. Dr. J. You know what I mean?
Dr. Dre.
Yeah. It ain't nothing new. So yes, as long as there's been entertainment, and women look up to entertainers, and oh my God, that's him. Yes, there's been groupies, and they've been around since the beginning of time.
Think about this: the Pips for Gladys Knight.
Oh, come on now,
getting pussy.
Oh yeah, the Pips were pimps.
The Pips were pimps.
For years, black folks thought it was Gladys Knight and the Pimps.
I did until somebody corrected me in middle school. Real talk. He was like, "It's the Pips." I said, "Nigga, it's the Pips." We got into a heated discussion. And then I looked it up. I said, "All right, you was right, motherfucker."
Yeah, man. But I grew up in the entertainment business, man. Jamie Foxx would always tease me about it because he's like, "I bet you play piano now." Like I see how he's the triple threat and how he can sing and play piano. I'm like, damn. When I got older, I was like, wow.
But when did you decide to do stand up? When was that moment?
So really, what that was, man, I was just the silly guy in the hood. I was in high school, shout out to Fairfax High School, you know what I mean? Right there on Melrose and in Fairfax and West Hollywood. I was just the class clown, best sense of humor. It just happened. I wasn't like, vote for me in June, class clown, best sense of humor. No, I was just the silly dude. Like I remember a joke that Richard Pryor did a long time ago, and he said when he went to jail, he keep them niggas laughing to keep their minds off the booty.
Yeah,
right.
Facts.
I was a little opposite. Growing up in South Central LA, half my family's Crips, half my family's Bloods. I grew up, the Bloods are at the end of my block, and I got family members of the Crips. My thing was keep these niggas laughing so they don't try to jump me into this gang or have to do the gang shit. But I was bused from South Central LA to Beverly Hills for 10 years. My school, there's a school right now that all the stars kids go to. It's called Berkeley Hall. It's up on Mulholland. How about I was the first black kid at Berkeley Hall?
God damn.
I was the inaugural Negro.
It's so funny.
1976.
You were just 5 minutes ago, you was like, I ain't that old. And then you was like, I'm the first Negro. You got a Louis Armstrong voice. You know that?
I was the first. Nigga, there's a statue in front of the school with me picking cotton and shit with a short afro. And back then they called it naturals.
Getting hit by a tomato.
No, but all the Superstars kids go there right now. But I was the first black kid there, 1976. And I'm all over the place. But when I got to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, one reason why Will Smith and I got along so well, it's kind of like we had similar stories. He's a Libra, I'm a Libra, but the way he grew up in Philly was kind of similar to how I grew up in LA. Like literally, I was the only black kid in this all-white private school. And I got teased my whole life. You sound like a white boy. You act like a white. Because I was just doing stuff that the niggas in the hood weren't doing.
Right. Like,
I was horrible at basketball.
Like reading.
Like reading. Right. And I was horrible at craps.
Right.
And I did not know how to play dominoes. But nigga, I could hit a 2-iron. I could swim like a fish.
Hey.
I was varsity speech and debate. You know what I mean? So who knew all that kind of stuff would turn into me being a comic that can do both rooms, that can kill in white rooms, be around white people, or I'm a member of a country club now, but still have the nigga edge to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I know that was a whole lot. Justin.
No, it was good, man.
I forgot the damn question.
I was like, nigga, when are you gonna say the day you went to a comedy club?
That's right. That was so. All that was being said because you asked me about comedy.
Right.
How did I get into it? I told you I was best sense of humor, silly. But I had no idea that I was going to actually hit a stage. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a kid that knew every single Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor joke they ever did, but I wasn't saying to my homeboys while I was on skateboards and big wheels, think I'm gonna be a comedian one day.
Yeah.
It was just natural. So long story short, 15 to 20 years old, breakdancing got big. So I was that pop locking and breakdancing nigga, but I'm just gonna try to make the long story short. I ended up dancing on Soul Train when I was 15. So you gotta understand, at Soul Train at that time, that is before Yo MTV Raps. Yeah. That's before BET and Rap City. So whether you were Michael Jackson or you were Run DMC, nigga, everybody had to be on Soul Train. So they're artists, but I'm one of the best dancers out of all the kids. So Don Cornelius and everybody took a liking to me. Next thing you know, I'm going down the line every week. Right. And when you go down the line, nigga, you were like literally like a star. It's like the focus is on you. So I was a hood star, and I became best friends with Rosie Perez. And I always had her laughing. This is where the comedy comes in.
Yeah.
Always had her laughing.
And I'm listening. Take your time. I'm listening. We got time.
And everybody on set laughing. So people would always say, "Are you a comedian? Do you want to be a comedian?" And I was like, "No, I'm just kind of being myself." And next thing you know, I'm cutting to like the next generation. So 1990 comes around, and boom, she's working on a brand new show, and it's called A Living Color. And I kind of became one of her assistants with the Fly Girls. One day, Damon Wayans and Keenan Ivory Wayans, stars of the show, creators of the show, biggest, hottest show on TV, walks in the room and sees all the dancers dying laughing. And they were like, "Nigga, are you a choreographer or a comedian? Which one are you?"
Right.
And Rosie had been telling them about me. "This is who I was telling you about. He's funny. He should be on stage." And you know what I mean? But I hadn't thought about it. I didn't know how to go about it.
And so at the time you was working on In Living Color, you hadn't even started your comedy career yet.
Hadn't even started my comedy. I was just a dancing nigga with a personality and having my friends laughing.
Wow.
And she was like, "You need to get on stage." So Damon Wayans was like, "Yeah, you're funny. I mean, I'll be watching you sometimes. You're funny, nigga. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?" I was like, "Do comedians get paid?" Nigga had just got off the road. I'll never forget, he had a brand new Jordan sweatsuit on. Nigga went in the pockets of his sweats, pulled out 30,000 out of this pocket, 30,000 out of this pocket, and nigga, when I just got this weekend, made all this at the Improv, and went boom, and threw it on me. The nigga made it rain in 1990, way before it was a name, Make It Rain. And nigga, everybody fell out line. There's $60,000 on the floor.
How much you picked up? Be honest.
Nigga, I was just sitting there looking like, goddamn, that's a whole lot of money. All I know is, nigga, I started doing comedy the next week. And dancing was over. And I really took them up on it.
Straight up, bro.
And the rest was history, man. So,
man, I think I know I've told you this before, but I want to say it here. Man, you had a BET. Was that BET Comic View special you had?
Which one? I had a Comic View special, and I had Straight Clowning. But I did a BET.
It might have been Straight Clowning.
Straight Clowning was my first 1 hour special. That was with Will Smith. Dr. Dre did all the music. Tyra Banks, Shaquille O'Neal, and Jamie Foxx. They were all on my 1 hour special. So
what year was that?
I did that in 2001 at the Will Cherie Bell. Sold out 2 shows, and I actually made history. This was way before a lot of guys. I'm not gonna mention names because people want to think you're hating, but way before a lot of dudes that we know.
Right.
I was the first comedian, black or white, to independently shoot a comedy special and get picked up by a major network. So one of my pro baseball player friends that just, really believed in me, gave me some money. We shot it ourselves. And it got picked up by 2 things. It got picked up by Showtime, which was still to this day a major network.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And then the Platinum Comedy Series.
I remember
back then, the Platinum Comedy Series was Dave Chappelle, Monique, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, like all the kings of comedy had it. And they would say, "Alex Thomas, how'd you get on that?" Where, companies and production companies shot all those big names.
Right.
I went the Master P route. Because that he was big at that time, and Birdman and all them and Cash Money, they were just, we could take all the money.
Yeah.
So independently shot it, and it got picked up. So that was Straight Clowning. Shout out to Dr. Dre. Shout out to Tyra Banks. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, and shout out to Will Smith for all those people that were just friends that believed in your boy. Now, what you're talking about was maybe my BET 1 hour special.
Maybe so.
One, Gary Payton.
Maybe so. One, I don't remember which one it was, but I remember laughing my ass off, bro. To this day, I was like, and this is what you got to understand. I'm a comedian. They know that, but meaning we're
funny comedian too. I like you, bro.
I appreciate that, Alex.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't think you weren't funny and talented.
Thanks, Alex.
I've always seen you do your thing. How long you been doing it now?
15 years now.
That's crazy. So I've seen you since your infancy.
From the beginning, for sure.
Oh, okay.
So
you were laughing.
I was laughing so hard, bro. And this was at a time when the only people that could get me to laugh that hard was a Chris Rock, a Bernie Mac, a Martin Lawrence. That's how funny the special was. that I was laughing that hard.
Thank you.
So that's when I was like, yo, this dude, that's when I first took notice. And you way back then, I was like, yo, this dude is funny. Because it's different from being funny and being funny.
Right.
And that's when I realized you were funny.
Thank
you know, man. So
thank you.
That being said, bro, I know you made a lady have a seizure at your show over the weekend. What happened?
God, bro, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing that's been happening later. I mean, and right before COVID, a lady went into cardiac arrest
Doing your show?
in the front row of my show in Kansas City, sold out show, 500 people, and she just literally went into cardiac arrest. I mean, she was laughing her ass off like everybody else, right? Next thing I know, paramedics rush in, the lights come on, they cut off my mic, they pump in her chest, and I'm like really terrified. I went from me having a great time making everybody laugh to like, oh shit, like what if she don't make it? But then there was that little birdie on my shoulder that was like, nigga, if she don't make it, nigga, your boy's going down in comedy history. They're gonna be like, so how was the Kansas City show? Nigga, I killed. Like literally, like nigga, let me get a picture with the body right quick. So I mean, it's the selfish shit. Killing in Kansas City, nigga, you know what I mean?
Hey man.
So that happened
in
right before the COVID, right? And then the situation that happened the other night in Denver sold out. Shout out to Denver, Colorado. Every time I show up to the Improv out there, sold out all 3 shows. And now this was crazy. It was packed, but she was so far in the back of the room, I didn't see it. Didn't even know until the managers, the general managers, and other comedians told me what had happened, right? Because the Kansas City show, it stopped my show.
Okay.
Because she was in the front row, and there's no way, cut off my mic, paramedics come in, and I would have still been able to, yeah, so I'm at the mall, right? You can't still be joking. So thank God the lady's okay. It was in the back of the room, but all the comedians, maybe when you post this, you can post, I'll send you the clip.
I love that.
Them. So people think I'm not making this up.
Send me the clip. We'll put it in the clip.
Yeah, the comedians are like, dude, all they know is she was back there dying laughing, enjoying her chicken wings and fries like everybody else. And one of the comedians said she was literally convulsing for like 3 or 4 minutes. They called the paramedics. They came in and they were like, the paramedics asked her husband what happened. And the husband was like, the fucking comedian up here, nigga, trying to kill my wife. Fuck that nigga. I ain't never coming back to his shows.
He was serious?
Dead serious. And I was like, well, I don't know if to take that as a compliment. I don't know if that's to say that maybe you should never come to my shows again because this is what I be doing.
Yeah, I be killing these bitches.
Yeah, I be killing these motherfuckers, like literally, and I will kill again. you know what I mean? But so I told the managers at the Improv, like, if you can get her number or like get a contact on her, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Hey man, you
but
doing your job.
I'll send you one of my books or something. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So if the ladies listening or watching, ma'am, I hope you're doing okay. Obviously, you had a good time and a bad time, and yeah. True story.
When did you start finding your comedic voice? When did you realize you was starting to elevate comedically?
You know what, man? Something that I got at, and I'm not name dropping. I'm saying this because you're asking me, and I want people to know. 2 people, Damon Wayans, Eddie Murphy.
Woo.
They told me,
goats.
It's not truly about what comes out of your mouth. So a lot of comics don't get that. It's almost like in rap, everybody got bars. Everybody can throw on a beat, nigga. I'm a freestyle, yeah. But at the end of the day, you're trying to sell albums. You're trying to do stuff that's memorable, stuff that people can repeat your words and know it forever. Like what you just told me, you were a little kid and you remember all that, right?
Yeah, I was 3.
I say that to say, you're like, I was 3 to be exact. Yeah.
Like a shit.
No, he was like, once your personality comes out, that's when you're going to take it to a next level. You're not just up there telling jokes. When I realized that, oh my God, people really like my personality and I could truly be me. I'm not going to lie. The first 5, 6, 7 years of my comedy, I was just up there telling jokes, slanging jokes. Even some of my close friends would be like, dude, you're funny and you make us laugh. But at the end of the show, I don't know much about you.
Yep.
And I was like, I took that to heart and I tried for years, but I realized kind of like what Chris Rock just recently said. He's like, you don't really truly become a great comedian until you've lived.
That's true.
You've got to have shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So early in my career, it was just all observations. Man, did you see this? Man, don't you hate when? And they were laughing, but when my personality started coming out, and I started really going, man, I could tell stories. I have an interesting life.
Yeah.
And as I began to live, kind of cut to today where I'm a new man now. I'm a happily married black man to a beautiful black wife with 3 beautiful black children. I've traveled the world and I just have so much to talk about. It really, truly just becomes about you. And then now my personality's out. Now it's not even about what I just said. It's like the way you said it. And like, you know what makes me feel the greatest?
I'm listening.
Justin.
What is it?
When people will laugh at your setup. You haven't even really got to.
That's when you know you got them. That's when you know you got them.
It's a great feeling, right?
It's a phenomenal feeling.
Like if you're laughing at me setting you up,
yeah.
Oh my God, brace yourself. Put on your seatbelt, and I hope you don't have a seizure or a cardiac arrest.
You know it's so funny
because I'm about to kill you, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite jokes you tell. It's so stupid. It's such a simple joke. But what you said, you went over a bump and farted and a quarter came out. So what is that joke?
Boy, nigga, you just added all kind of shit. You was eating a cup of noodles and a $2 bill came out your asshole. What is it? Nigga, you added all kind of shit to my joke.
My bad. My bad.
Quarter came out my ass. What the fuck? That's like that old school shit where they say if there was six people who were on the couch and somebody over there tell a secret,
right?
And by the time it gets to you, it's completely different.
Telephone.
That's funny. No, but the joke was I had rented a car. I forgot what city I was in. I don't know, maybe Kentucky or Louisville, somewhere. And I rented a car, but in that particular city, the potholes were terrible.
That's what it was.
Nigga, it was the deepest potholes I had ever experienced in my life. I'm like, dude, they need to fucking fix the potholes in this city. And the whole crowd was like, hell yeah, fuck that, man, this shit is stupid. I said, nigga, I rented a car today. I hit a pothole so deep, it felt like I flew off a bridge.
Okay.
It cracked my rims, busted my tires, and I farted at the same goddamn time. I just said, what the fuck?
That joke get me every time, bro.
It's just simple, but it's just the truth.
I know it was some extra shit in there, though. You said 3 things. You broke your
it busted the tire.
Busted the tire.
It cracked the rim.
Cracked the rim.
No, but see, I can explain just so you know I'm not lying.
Oh, so this really happened,
nigga, I had just left the Chipotle. So, nigga, gas was all throughout my ass. Okay? It was one of those, a chronological order, like I was about to fart anyway. I didn't know that there was going to be a pothole the size of a small child. Nigga, it went, and I just rented the car. It cracked the rim, busted the tire, and I farted at the same time. So what I didn't tell you was the rest. Nigga, I had to call AAA while I'm sitting there farting on the side of the road. Thank God it happened earlier in the day before I had to go to my show. Because I'm a dude, I like to have my own transportation in cities.
Okay.
I'm not that dude. People think, you're on TV, you're in movies, you want, a limo or a black SUV. That's cool. But I play golf.
Got you.
And wherever I go in the world, I want to have my own car because I'm driving to that. I'm not on the Hollywood.
You're Chris Spencer.
Yeah, I might want to go visit a cousin in that city. I might want to go shopping here and there and go get a massage or some shit. Like I like rolling, and that's how I find comedy.
That is how you
find comedy. Being out and about and seeing and touching these cities.
You know what else Chris Rock said too? He said, with his stand-up, you want to make sure you have quotables.
Exactly.
You want to make sure you have something. I don't even
go into it like that. They just end up being that.
Yeah.
When I'm writing a joke, I'm not going, this is going to be a quotable. But you feel it when you feel it.
Right.
So any great artist, whether they are a singer, rapper, comedian, you know the kind of shit that's going to be quotable. People going to remember.
Right.
Even when I do my movies, people in TV shows, people would just out of nowhere. I'm in an elevator in Dallas and somebody said, "Cock blocking ass, bitch." And I was like, okay, you saw the Players Club. You know what I mean? Or classic. Somebody will say different things.
You was an evil ass little Negro in Players Club, bro.
That's crazy. I was. That was more of a serious role.
Yeah.
than comedy. I had one lady. No, here's crazy how people. This is how you know you played a role good, when people truly believe what you were doing. So I'm in again another elevator story. I forgot what city I'm in, and I get in, and two girls just get in the elevator with me, and it's like a high rise type thing. She just looks at me, looks at me again, out of nowhere. I'm like, why are they looking at me crazy? Y'all didn't have to rape Ebony like that. I was like, what are you talking about? Players Club? Yes. She didn't deserve that. I was like, that was a movie, right?
Right.
I have never raped anybody in my life. You're not supposed to touch women. That was a movie.
That's right. It's not
whatever,
nigga.
Not
Aries Spears.
Yeah.
Let me stop. Let me stop, y'all. Let me stop.
Yeah, she just got off the elevator, but just goes to show people think. I mean, that's when you know you did a good job. They really,
phenomenal, man. How was it working on that on Players Club, man? Did you have to audition for that, or was somebody?
Actually did.
Okay, how many times?
I actually was. That was a third callback, and I found out later on, years later, it was between me, Eddie Griffin, and Anthony Anderson.
Ooh.
And Ice Cube. I fooled that nigga so good that day, because I came in character for Players Club. And I've known the nigga for years. He didn't know it was me. I just got dressed up as one of them country ass Atlanta niggas.
Yeah.
Gold tooth. You know what I mean? I think, I had a hat on over my eyes and da-da-da. And I really played that nigga. You feel me? You know how them niggas be talking like that. You feel me? I talk like that. Nigga, after the audition, he's like, you really from the A? And I was like, nigga, I'm Alex Thomas.
Surprise.
From Los Angeles. Shut the fuck up, nigga. He didn't even know it was me.
And I'm sure the fact that you hometown also.
And I'm born and raised South Central LA just like him.
Right.
And he loved it. He's like, nigga, I think I found out like a day or two later that I got the role. But that was definitely one of my most memorable roles and movie experiences. I have experiences from the Players Club.
Yeah, I'm about to say
that will last forever. Like me and Lisa Ray, literally, we not only we like brother and sister, she's now like one of my wife's best friends.
Oh, wow.
Because she's always been in my life.
Were you married when you did that movie?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Justin Hires, I can say this because my wife knows I was a dirty whore during my single days. And everybody that knows me, put it this way, the Wayans family, Damon, Sean, Marlon, Keenan, they would all call me, and my nickname back in those days was Al XXX.
Oh, you was getting in.
Nigga, when I tell you niggas like Lexington Steele, Mr. Marcus, like the GOAT porno stars, them niggas is like, you want to do a scene with this nigga? Like, you know all these. Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a crazy set, brother. I was surrounded by a bunch of big booty strippers.
Yeah,
for a month or two. Yeah, we had fun on that set.
I highly recommend anybody that hasn't seen it. Players Club is a goddamn classic.
I don't know one black person that hasn't, but there might be some black people out there.
There's always a random nigga, bruh, that ain't seen shit. They ain't seen Coming to America. They ain't seen Juice.
Nigga, he couldn't tell you the menu at Roscoe's. He's never had chicken and waffles.
Bruh, I just met a chick, black chick, never seen Waited to Issa Rae. She was just saying it. Her parents were super like protective. She's never seen Waiting to Exhale, bruh.
But Waiting to Exhale wasn't some filthy, nasty. That was an amazing movie.
I mean, they were fucking in Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah, but
it's radar.
No, I get you. Well, however you raise your kids.
Man, fuck all that. Go watch that goddamn movie.
My son's 4. He knows all of Tupac's lyrics. No, but what are you saying?
Nigga, I don't remember.
Oh, we're talking about Players Club.
Bernie Mac, man. Tell us what's up with Bernie Mac, man.
Man, rest in peace. Bernie was a cool ass dude. Bernie liked me as a young stand-up comic. Coming up, I was one of those dudes who was kind of fortunate. Early in the game, I was hitting the road. Before I really had a big name, it was like just from the little bit of things that I had did. And I met Bernie, maybe like 6-7 years prior, about 5 years prior to Players Club, at All Jokes Aside, comedy club in Chicago. And, Bernie used to tell me stories, how a lot of LA comics would come to Chicago and bomb. And Bernie was like, nigga, you couldn't be from motherfucking LA. Niggas come out here and fucking fucking bomb all the time. Nigga, you was a funny motherfucker. He used to tell me that as a little amateur.
Wow.
So coming from him, it was big for me, right? Cut to Players Club. He had us dying on set, laughing our asses off. But one thing me and Bernie had in common was golf. And I had just started golfing. You know what I mean? So we were always talking. It's like we're on a set with a bunch of big booty chicks shooting a movie, but me and this nigga were talking about golf because it was new to me and he had been playing for a few years. A lot of people on that set, man. Rest in peace, AJ Johnson. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. It was a really funny set. It was comedy going down every time QBO cut. You know what I mean?
AJ Johnson, he almost lit me up, but I got out of it.
Oh, really?
Man. He came.
Oh, and Tiny too. Rest in peace, Tiny.
Oh, Tiny, yeah.
No longer with. There's so many guys on that set, man, that just, man, no longer with us.
Man, AJ came to perform at my school. I got Kevin Hart. It was like Damon Williams, Kevin Hart, AJ Johnson. I forgot who else was performing.
What school?
Clark Atlanta University. So this was my
what year?
06. I've been on Kevin Hart, bro. I've been new. I got him booked in 2006 to headline our homecoming comedy show, bro.
Now, how are you booking people and you're still in college?
They was asking me. They knew I was the funny one on campus, and so like the student government of activity affairs, they was like, who should we get for the homecoming comedy show?
Gotcha.
And I was like, get Kevin Hart. I was trying to get Lil Duval because that's when Duval was in Everybody music video. Exactly. You had your stint too.
I was the OG.
You was the OG, right?
I was the first male video vixen. Right. I was a video hoe. Shout out to Lil Duval, but we always joke and laugh about it. But yeah, that I kind of like was a groundbreaker in that, and a lot of these guys.
Who's some of the videos? What's some of the?
Let me tell you something. Nori, homeboy, I came to party. Yo, remember that when I was like, Nori got, I'm out here. I got asthma. I had my asthma pump and all that.
That's right.
And I knew marketing back then. That video was one of the biggest videos of the year. It was Pharrell's first big hit. Nori was the rapper. But if you go back and look at that video, Google it, you'll see the T-shirt that I'm wearing. I was cross-promoting back then, nigga.
What T-shirt is that?
Straight clowning.
Oh, I remember that.
Clowning
I remember that, bro.
Absolutely. So that, you probably remember me from the Sierra and Lil Bow Wow when I was talking about counterclockwise spinners. I forgot what song it was. It was that. So many videos.
Man, you was in there, bro.
Yeah.
So we had Clark 06.
That's when, let me ask you something. Clark by that time had become it's a boy and girl school.
Yeah.
Because I remember at one time, wasn't it just like Clark? Spelman used to be all girls.
Yeah, so that's still the same. So Spelman is all girls.
Right.
Morehouse is all
and
boys.
Morehouse was always all men.
Yeah, right. And then Clark was co-ed, which is why I went there.
Right, exactly.
I was like, I visited all the schools. I was like, I think I'll go to the one where there's women.
Yes, exactly.
So Kevin come through. They let me like open up the show. Damon Williams hosted, but they said, Justin, you could like open up the show.
So had you did stand up yet?
Not really. I probably got on stage maybe once, twice before, like as a stand-up.
How much time did you do that night?
Man, I told like one or two jokes. I got to laugh and I got on stage.
Because all these people know you. You're the funny guy at the school. I'm out.
And my joke that I said though was, I was like, yeah, man, we got Kevin Hart, we got AJ Johnson, I said, yeah, man, we got the comedians that we could afford tonight.
That's funny, and I got a good little.
Got a good little laugh, yeah. And so they was
that's like, before everybody's prices went up.
That's exactly correct. That's what Kevin Hart, honestly, straight up, he probably would cost $5,000.
Did you ever tell him that story later on?
He remember. I don't know if he remember, but he know.
Right,
and then we just did some shows. Me and Kevin did some shows right before he went on his the Irresponsible tour.
Oh, okay.
We did 6 shows together at Flappers.
Oh, okay.
And
you opened up every night?
I did. Let me tell you the funny story behind that. I was headlining that weekend. We had the same agent at the time. Kevin was driving by and saw my name on the marquee. I was like, I like Justin. I'm a headline on his show.
I'm going to headline on his show. I'm going to bump that nigga down to opener.
That's exactly correct. So he made me. Lee, you muted it? Lee.
Is he laughing?
Nah, he got it. He don't got his shit on mute.
Nah, yeah, it wasn't muted. My bad.
Make sure it's on mute, bro. So Where was that? Oh,
You said Kevin Hart got about 5,000. You booked him.
no,
He
no,
was
oh no,
driving
no.
by
This
flappers.
he was driving. So this is a different show. So we have so he bumped me off my own show, but I gotta give credit. So I went to hosting / opening. So I did 20 minutes, and then I would bring out Kevin, and then Kevin would do an hour. And so one of the nights, I said, "Hey man, you know what I'm saying? I got Kevin booked in 2006 at Clark Atlanta University. I always believed in him. I said I was opening up for him then, and here I am 12 years later, still opening up for this nigga." And then I brought him up on stage.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, I got a book. So AJ Johnson, I said that joke about we got the comedians we could afford, right? That got a good little laugh.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm not everybody. Peace out. Ah, David Williams. So I ran and got on stage. Okay. AJ Johnson comes on stage for his set. I'm standing in the front row like, yeah. I'm thinking like, yeah, nigga, I done got my laugh.
Right.
He looked at me, he said, you. I said, nigga, I ran so quick out of the auditorium. I'm like, if I'm not in the room, he can't say shit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, bro. So he didn't get me. I jetted out that room.
That's funny. You got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, bro, because I know he's a murderer. Yeah. Hey, man, there's some shit I want to talk about, man, because I remember you said this on stage one night, and I thought this was incredible. So Will Smith discovered you at the Laugh Factory?
Laugh Factory. I remember the day like it was yesterday. And I always tell the story because I feel like it's inspiring.
Yeah.
That you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
And I am the epitome of being in the right place at the right time. You know, that's kind of like the story of my life, because the question I always get is, yo, I didn't find out you were a writer on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you take writing class? Did you go to writing school? Like, how did that happen? And I tell people the honest truth. I was just in the right place at the right time. July 2nd, 1992. I was a broke stand-up comic. I had $11 in my pocket. I'd only been doing comedy maybe a year. And amateur night, sat in a 13-hour line at the Laugh Factory.
13-hour line.
13 hours just to go up and do 3 minutes on amateur night. Got off stage. Will Smith was literally sitting in the front row of the comedy club. And this was way before he was slapping niggas, right? So, so thank God he didn't slap my ass. And the first thing he said, we took me to the side. He's like, yo, man, you real funny. I always want to do stand-up comedy. He goes, well, my name is. I was like, I know who you are.
Right.
You're Will Smith. He goes, yeah, man, I got this funny-ass TV show. I was like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I watch it every week.
The number one show that 30 million niggas are watching?
Exactly. It had only been on 2 years. He goes, well, let me ask you a question. He goes, do you write? I'm like, nigga, you got a pen? Right. He was like, he goes, do you think you could come down and help us with some funny stuff? Like what you did on stage tonight? I was like, hold on. Let me check my schedule. Yes, nigga, I'm available. He goes, when do you think we could come down? I'm like, shit, now?
Right.
Can I get a ride with you? Rest was history. I was there the next day, bro. The next day.
Do you remember what jokes you told that night for him to be like?
I don't.
I feel you.
Dude, it's crazy you bring that up. I have people take like a LeBron James or D Wade or some of the famous people that have come up to me over the years. Nigga, do you still do the joke about da-da-da-da-da? And I'm like, bro, let me tell you something. I would have to watch my own specials to remember some of those jokes. I've always been a writer and I've always tried to like move on. So but they'll break it down. Nigga, I was in 8th grade, nigga, and you said, and then I'm like, nigga, I need to bring that back. That was funny as a motherfucker. Like, a lot of stuff I don't remember unless I watch a YouTube and remember. But I was like, but there has been some times, I'm not gonna lie, that like when YouTube came up,
right?
I was like, I'll look back at one of my old jokes and I'll be in a city. I'm like, nigga, I'm using that one tonight.
I gotta pull that out.
Yeah, it's almost like, great music. Great music stands the test of time. Some of the greatest artists we've ever known. You have sang that song 100 billion times. You know the whole routine. You know the whole video, but every time it comes on, it's like the first time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing what we do. And it's a compliment when you could use a joke that's 12, 14, 15 years old, and it's still relevant to this day. Because I know there's a lot of comics, again, not mentioning names, and I know you could agree with me that you might watch them for 20 minutes and after you not remember one fucking thing that guy said. Either it just wasn't interesting, or it wasn't funny, or it's like,
Yeah, man.
Correct?
No, that's a fact, man. I mean, that's actually a piece of advice that Kevin told me. He saw me super young. and that's when Tori was doing, his ex-wife was doing stand-up.
Okay.
And he came to Ha Ha Comedy Club to see Tori.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh shit, Kevin Hart's in the building.
And you in LA now? You telling jokes for real?
Yeah, I know, for real. I'm telling jokes for real now. So I went up and I had a good set. He was like, hey man, you funny. People don't know Kevin got a real cool vibe off stage. Like he be like, hey, what's up, guys, in front of the camera, but off camera, he be like, you funny. He was like, but talk about yourself more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was like, he know what the fuck he talking about, because at this point, that's when he was starting to pop.
Right. It's kind of like what I told you, remember? But when you're young in the game, you feel like, but I'm not interested.
Right.
I'm just hustling. I'm just trying to make it. You're not really. That's where the chops come on. That's when the paying the dues comes in. That's when you've been in this. You're starting to live.
Yeah. And
you have stories. So like one of the number one things people ask me is, how do you come up with material? Traveling, being out and about, seeing things, doing things. Then it's back to what Kevin said, back to what I told you earlier. Then it does become about you, because what this joke I'm about to tell you is what happened to me.
Right.
Like I saw this. This is my perspective. This really happened to me. I remember a lot of my friends. I remember shout out David Arnold, right?
Oh man, he's one of my favorites too.
David told me, he goes, this is before I had kids. He goes, man, I can't wait till you have kids, nigga. I can't wait to hear your daddy material. It's funny, that stayed with me, because all my friends were having kids before me. I'm like the last of the Mohicans. I waited till it was right, till I found the right wife and found the right situation.
Nice.
But I always would laugh at their
Ivory Queen is what I like to call them.
Thank you very much. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Brazy. But it would be, her name's Brazy, right? People like, nigga, was your wife a blood, nigga? You see, Sue Woo? No, I would tell you it's real simple. Her dad's name is Brad. Her mom's name is Rosie.
There you go.
So they took the BRA and then the SIE at the end of Rosie, and they came up with Brazy.
You got to name one of your kids Rosie. The next one, you got Rosie Perez.
Well, I got my left nut removed.
There
nigga.
you have
so
it. There you have it.
My new name is going to be Uno, nigga. I'm done with kids. Yeah, niggas get snipped. I got neutered. Like, I have one ball. My new name's Uno, nigga.
What, you had like cancer, testicular cancer?
No, nigga, I just didn't want to have no more kids, nigga.
So they removed the ball? You ain't just do the...
Now that's, well, I'll tell you, I'm lying. I made that up for the joke.
Okay, I'm about to say, what the fuck?
No, nigga, I would, it's called a vasectomy, nigga.
Okay, so you had a vasectomy.
Yeah, because my pull-out game's horrible.
Okay.
And my wife's stuff is really good. And I just can't pull out.
Okay.
And I just keep making babies.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be like, what's his name, NBA young boy with 14 kids and Fetty Wap with 1 eye and 9 kids. I'm not trying to do all that. So, see, when I start fucking with you, I start talking about so much stuff, I forget what what brought this all up. You don't even remember.
I don't remember, man. Somebody watching, they go like, you was talking about this.
Oh, David Arnold, and
David
I was bringing
Arnold.
up material about having kids.
That's right.
So I would always die laughing. You know, David, Chris Spencer, a lot of my people, they're friends, and dying at their family material. And silently, I'm like, can't wait till I start a family, you know? And boom, it came. And now I'm killing with the daddy material. It is just like another full clip in the joke gun.
Yeah.
And it's talking about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm in a room full of guys that got babies. And we all got stories. A bunch of daddies in here. I'm about to tell you my story.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell you the story about how we had a pandemic baby. The truth.
Hey,
the nigga was born with a mask on. Okay? My son, shout out to my little baby son, my little soldier trust, just turned 2. That nigga was born August 3rd, 2020. Talking like height of the pandemic, like in the middle of the shit. You know what I mean? So we got through that. I'm sorry, you're the one asking the question.
No. I should shut the fuck up.
I got so many stories.
Ain't nobody listening this to hear me. They trying to hear what you guys.
No, but I appreciate it. You're a great quarterback and a great host, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. This is what I wanted to ask you, man. Do you ever, when you see some of these guys touring, do you ever feel left out? Do you ever be like you see, like, you know what I'm talking about when you see the.
No, I know the reason why.
Oh, go for it.
And I again, I'm not gonna mention names.
Okay.
But we just had this conversation recently.
Oh, okay. Shit, I ain't too far.
I was one of those dudes in this business. It was, if I have to put it in terms of R&B, I was forced to go solo. Oh. I don't know if you ever heard the story about back in the day when, and I'm making this very clear so the young cats could get this and everybody watching. I don't know if you ever heard the story about how Anita Baker had to fire Luther Vandross out of love.
No.
She fired him out of love. This dude went on to be one of the greatest of all time. You're too damn amazing to be a background singer, bro. When they're coming to see her, but they're like, love you, but who's the nigga in the back?
Yeah.
This nigga's incredible. It started to be, there was so much focus on him that she's like, I love you. You're an amazing guy. And thank you for what you've done. I can't have you back there behind me anymore. So I say that to say there's a lot of big names out there. I only bring it up because I really, truly get the question.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to give you the example without saying the names because then people want to instantly call it hate. No, I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Man, why you don't ever be on the tour with?
Yeah.
Man, I talk to the nigga always good. Man, he got 4 specials. Why can I never open up? There's a reason why certain comics have certain people opening up for them.
Yeah.
The reason why those 3 guys are opening up, because nigga, they're never gonna get beyond here. They're just lukewarm. They're just okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Those guys got rich because of that dude.
Right.
They now have homes and cars and everything. But I understand why that dude would never have me open up for him.
Right.
You can't have a nigga go up and get standing ovation before you. You just can't have that. Not on my show.
Right.
When they came here today, so there's a lot of people out there, and I'm not saying this with hate with any of those dudes.
No, I hear you,
I was forced that I got so strong, I had to do it on my own. It may take me a little longer.
Yeah.
But I had to do it on my own and do my own. So that's the reason for all the people constantly like, man, we went and saw such this weekend. Man, I wish you could have been on the show. And I tell people, unfortunately, I'll never be on the same show with that guy. And I'm just being honest. I love that dude. And I know why I'm not opening up for him, but that's okay.
Man, and I asked that because
you get my point.
No, I get your point.
Okay.
I get your point.
There's a reason why certain people go out with certain people because
I've been on shows
and niggas just mediocre.
I've been on shows and people have constantly. I went from doing X amount of time and they kept cutting me down on time, and I'm like, well, I thought I was doing 20 minutes, and now all of a sudden I'm doing 5 minutes, 6 minutes. What,
Justin? Again,
yeah.
Without using names, I've had stars that I've opened up for in my 30-year anniversary, and their managers and their people have said, Alex, just fall back a little.
Yeah.
Just fall back. I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, I did my time. I did everything. If you want to continue working it, fall back. I would hear that so much over the years that it kind of put a fire in me to even get stronger.
Yeah.
Because it let me know I was doing the right thing. And I thank those dudes for giving me opportunities to be a young comic and touring all over the country and stuff. But when I would hear fall back, like, you remember why you're here, bro.
If anybody
came to see him,
if anybody don't really realize what he's saying, it's also like
you translate.
They'll tell you that you can't be too funny.
Thank you.
So there's a lot of headliners. They'll sometimes have an opener or a feature that they funny, but they just funny enough to get the job done.
And that's the ones that they stay with. Back to my example, right? The ones that are just okay,
right? They work forever.
Yeah,
those features work. Those features work.
And that
forever.
guy will be the feature in the middle forever. They saw the potential in me, but Anita Baker, she was just straightforward with Luther.
Right.
These guys went for it. All I knew is I wasn't getting the dates anymore. I just know. Okay, so then it got to be the point they were like, well, don't do this, and that joke. And in my little young coming up mind, those are some of my best jokes.
Got to do them.
Do your thing, just not on this show. So now it's almost like I'm knocking niggas out, but you're asking me not to use my right hand anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just need you to jab on these niggas. I don't need you to kill them. Why do we not need to kill them? And it made sense as I got older. It used to upset me.
Right.
The reason why they only want the jab because they paid to see this nigga knock him out.
Right.
Not you.
My homeboy was just telling me how he just went to a comedy show recently. He was like, all the openers was funnier actually than the headliner. And I was like, well, you got to understand too, that headliner had to do more time also. So, sometimes features, they have a strong 10, 15 minutes of colossal material.
Yeah.
But I get, it still goes to what you're saying. It's the opposite, but still going with what you're saying is when you're a young comic, you only have so many jokes.
And you're hungry.
And you're
trying to prove it every time you touch the mic. And never did I disrespect any of them. That's one thing I knew coming into the game.
Right.
I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds me.
Fuck you, Eddie Murphy. I'm doing this joke.
No, see what I mean? But there's dudes that without saying names, that did that.
Right.
And that's why they never really
Right.
I was not a dude to burn bridges or fuck up relationships, and that's why I'm still here 30 years later.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But I know a lot of dudes, without naming names, you just fucking bit the fingers off the hands. And you'll never work with that guy. And that dude does tons of movies. Or that guy, I say, I'm one of those dudes that stayed working because people like me. I never claimed to be the funniest guy.
Right.
But people like me. And at the end of the day, the same way they told me it's not just about your jokes, it's about your personality. Relationships is everything in this game. So again, no shade against any of those dudes that wouldn't have me work with them anymore, because I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. But back then I didn't get it. I was upset back then, and it just fired me up to just become a fucking beast on stage.
Nah, you're a beast, bro.
And that's something that can't stop. And you will always be able to eat. At the end of the day, if you're funny, your work will speak for itself.
When did you realize you needed to get on social media? When did you
when social media came around?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those dudes. I'm one of the OGs that doesn't knock the new generation.
Right.
I might have a few jokes here and there, but I'm not, man. Fuck you niggas. No. I have a saying for that, Justin. And the saying is, get with the times or get left behind.
That's a fact.
I'm not that dude, man. These little young, no. When I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah, for sure.
When I started seeing niggas that weren't funny, getting millions of views and getting this and that and this and that, I was like, where do they get a load of me?
Yeah.
Like, I do this for real. Like, somebody just asked me the other day, why are you not verified on Instagram? I'm like, because I'm verified in real life.
That's a fact, bro.
Does that make sense?
That's a fact, bro.
You get a nigga that sleeping on his mama's couch, trying to make $1,100 a month with 9 jobs, but he got 9 million followers. Like, nigga, but it's not equating. Like, your whole goal is to get on TV and movies. So when people go, yeah, he's super funny, but he's not I don't, because my page is real.
Yeah.
You go to my social media page, it's truly my life.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. There's a whole bunch of motherfuckers, the whole fake it till you make it. That's why I think social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, it became the greatest thing on the world for fake, non-talented motherfuckers. You can actually lie to niggas to think that you're actually talented. The beautiful thing I love about stand-up comedy, Justin, is you could lie to your blue in the face on social media. You can trip and fall 30 seconds of comedy. You can do a post that got 11 million views, but the truth is, nigga, here's the mic, you're next. This live audience is going to tell the truth if you're a fucking comedian or if you're not. And my whole thing is, I'm not knocking these young social media influencers if they're really working on the craft and really working on this game. But just please don't call yourself a comedian just because you got 11 million followers, but you don't have 11 minutes of material. No, you're a social media nigga.
Yeah.
You're an influencer. Nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I utilize the social media too.
Right.
But I just actually have some talent to go along with it.
In jokes.
Yeah. Just because you take pictures don't make you a model.
Hey, man.
Like Drake just said on his album, like, don't even talk to me. Don't call yourself a model if you ain't been in Vogue.
Woo.
But social media will have you calling yourself a model.
Yeah.
Because you'd be taking pictures and twerking and getting 1 million views.
So I be seeing some of these girls calling themselves models. And I'm like, just stop. Just stop. I was talking.
It's giving them away.
But
it's giving them an outlet.
But some of them need to know when it's over. The model dream has an expiration date. Comedy doesn't. If you want to be
a beautiful thing. We could be 80 years old, still be funny,
still be fun.
Out.
Exactly. Right. But modeling, I was talking to a girl. She probably was like 38, 39. She was like, "Yeah, I'm finna pursue my modeling career." I said,
"But don't you have somebody help do their homework first?
Right?
Don't these kids need a pot of greens and some spaghetti before you go twerk and be in Chris Brown's next rap video?"
Exactly. So I was like, it's time to call it quits.
And we're not shooting people's dreams down because they'll hate on that too, what I just said.
Right.
But all I'm saying is you have to be realistic. But what social media, it has people really believing.
Yeah. I guess, you know what, the only, I guess I'm playing devil's advocate now with my own thought, which is the only thing about social media, you get something like TikTok and Instagram You probably could be a fucking 80-year-old model if you posted consistently every day some photos. You will pick up a fan base of niggas like I like wrinkles.
Nigga be like, I hit an 80-year-old. Come on, the head must be amazing. They man hair teeth.
That's what I wanted to know.
I want to get gummed.
Hey man, hey, I'm not against it. Who was the comedians putting heat on you? Heat on everybody when they was coming up. Who was the comedians bringing the heat when you was on the come up? Who was the ones that they was like, yo, he funny, even if he ain't made it yet, y'all knew he was go pop eventually.
You gotta understand, I came up in the early and mid 90s. So that's, it was me, Chris Tucker, obviously DL was coming up. All the kings of comedy were coming up. Thinking we all did Def Comedy Jam together. You know what I mean? It's just everybody had Earthquake was coming up. Bruce was coming. I can keep going on with the guys that were really that everybody remembers from Def Comedy Jam and Comic Views. It was a weird time for me though, because I was a dude that wasn't just a comedian. If you take 9 or 10 of those dudes, they didn't touch TV and movies to 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
I was a young dude that was doing Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, but coming home and doing guest roles on TV shows and doing commercials. And you know what I mean? I knew early, I want to be a comedian and this is fun, but nigga, I'm not going to be on the road so much that I'm missing that McDonald's audition or that audition to be on Moesha or that audition to be on Baps or that audition to be on Two Could Play That Game, that audition to be What's Love Got to Do That. I was thinking big at a young age. Comedy never stopped. It was always the bread and butter, but I was like, nigga, I'm trying to be on TV and movies.
Gotcha.
So a lot of those dudes, you take all of them, look at where they were all coming from. Cedric the Entertainer was St. Louis, you know what I mean? Chris Tucker was Atlanta, you know what I mean? Boots and them, they were Comic View and Def Comedy Jam gave exposure to a lot of these dudes that hadn't touched Hollywood yet, which was great because a lot of those guys I mentioned ended up going on to be great. But I was a dude that was like, nigga, this Hollywood shit, this TV and movie money is 10 times this comedy money.
Right.
And I found that out at an early stage. So I was just one of those dudes that was like, I'm trying to get all the money.
Right.
I'm writing on a major TV show. I'm on a TV show. I'm doing movies. I'm doing cartoons. I was like, fuck a regular job.
Yeah.
And here we are 30 years later. God's blessed me to not have a regular job in 30 years.
Whew. What I was going to ask you, what do you think the key is to you still being relevant and still being in the game?
Keeping my ear to the streets.
Yeah.
And 2 people that I always use as my examples of that, and just happen to be 2 friends of mine, Russell Simmons and Dr. Dre. Those are 2 guys that even though they're getting up there in age, they stay relevant, whether it was the tech business, whether it was doing what they do and signing new artists, whether it was with Russell doing the all deaf comedy, just us staying relevant. You know how many guys our age that are either, and there's nothing wrong with this, they're done.
Yeah.
Because if you're done, you're done. There's nothing to give you. And I totally respect you. Nigga, you were amazing when you did it. Right? We can name a lot of names.
Yeah.
But some people just done.
Yeah.
Nigga, I was like, it's really me.
Right.
I'm not faking it. People ask that question. Man, I've seen you in college rooms or with niggas at your age, to the mid, to the distant, you don't dress like them old niggas and this and like I've always been a fly nigga.
Yeah,
I know the way I'm talking, like if I was a rapper, you still buying my album.
Yeah. I was gonna say you the Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? Like the
real talent.
Real
that
talent
stands the test of time. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Whatever the era is. I'm glad you brought Jadakiss up. Shout out to Jadakiss. He can give a fuck less what these little young Instagram niggas are doing. He really does some shit. Like he says, you know what? I'm from New York. I'm outside. You feel me? That's why I love him, because he just shows at the end of the day, I don't care what the trend is, Justin.
Yeah.
I don't care what everybody else is doing. I know what got me here.
Yeah.
and to still be fun. At the end of the day, all we're talking about is talent and funny.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I can't be something I'm not. Whatever the new trend is, you think about it. People that aren't truly talented, they gotta go for the bells and whistles. They gotta go with the smoke signals.
Right.
If a nigga can't sing, he gotta have 15 dancers behind him with smoke explosions, to make you feel he's not that dude that could just stand there with the mic and really fucking truly give you chills.
Yeah.
Because he's talented.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm on stage.
I mean, you a beast, bro. Man, we about to get out of here quick. So
I'm sorry. I've been here so long.
No, man. No. This is perfect, bro. I wanted to ask you about Don't Be a Menace. Gotta ask you about that. Now, this is something I always wanted to know. I know they reshot a bunch of the movie. Were you in the original portion that was filmed?
Absolutely. I was in not only was Don't Be a Menace my first movie, it was one of the first movies I wrote on.
Ooh.
So I was in it from the beginning. Sean, Marlon, shout out to Phil Bowman. I thank Keenan.
You was with the first director
before Paris Barclay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really was there, nigga, And shout out to Keenan Ivory Wayans, who put all of us through like comedy boot camp writing. I'm new to this game at that time. I didn't really, this was before, it was around the same time. Well, Don't Be a Menace, I had just started working on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm learning this writing shit. But Keenan just put us all in a room. Same thing, him and Eddie Murphy and Robert Townsend and rest in peace Paul Mooney and Richard Pryor and all them used to do. He just knew I'm around a bunch of funny motherfuckers.
Right.
And there's got to be some brilliance in this. So I always thank the Wayans family because, I was like the honorary Wayans.
Right.
Like anything they ever did for TV shows, the movies, everything, they always looked out. I was opening up for different people, so they always looked out for us. But Keenan Ivory Wayans, he put us in that room, and we were like, we were in there for months. We had to rewrite the script. He's like, it ain't funny enough. We were writing
what y'all learned?
Sean Wayans' living room in his house, coming up with that script.
What you learned from that, like that writing experience? Or did Keenan drop any gems or anything you picked up from that experience?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the whole just be you. Y'all wouldn't be sitting at this table if I didn't believe and I didn't think you motherfuckers are funny. You know what I mean? And we all didn't know the structure yet. So we had people in that room that were like, we said something that pertained to this scene. Like if we fucking sat down and broke down Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
Which went on to be one of the greatest black films and black film cinematography history.
No, for a fact.
It's a cult classic. That was our airplane.
Yeah.
That was our Naked Gun.
Yeah.
I could literally break down every fucking I remember what we thought about when that was the end joke, but I can tell you the 9 other jokes we thought before y'all saw that. Us dying laughing to 4 o'clock in the morning, tears coming out of our eye, laughing with so many of those jokes that ended up being shit that people will remember for life.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Man, iconic, bro. That's an iconic role, man.
I mean, I'll go places and there's white people that love Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had somebody come up to me. I did a show in Israel with Jerry Seinfeld.
You did a show in Israel with Jerry Seinfeld?
9 cities. Me, Jerry, and a few other comics. So Jerry
what
Seinfeld,
year was this?
Jewish. This was 2019.
This was recent as hell.
Christmas, right before COVID.
So what was it like being in Israel?
Man, let me tell you, I'm not a super spiritual person, but I believe in God. I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? But the reason why that trip was so incredible to me, outside of comedy, I was able to bring my whole family. So we're Christians. We went to the home of Jesus Christ. We went to the manger. We went to actually, like, it was a spiritual. We walked on, we literally walked on the same water that when they say Jesus walked on the Sea of Galilee, I have pictures of me moonwalking on the Sea of Galilee with my kids. It was a very emotional about my wife.
You was disappointed in Jesus. You're like, this water isn't deep at all. See,
He walked on it
walked on water, right?
because it's 1 inch.
Right.
No, but to bring my mother-in-law, to bring my wife, to bring my 2 kids at that time, because it was before Trust was born, it was amazing. So not only did Daddy work every night, we got to literally see, the birth of the world, and we got to learn a lot about the Jewish way of life, and then we got to go to Bethlehem, the other side of the wall where Jesus was born.
Wow.
So it was incredible, man. It was a spiritual thing, and then on top of that, I got paid, and I got to slang these jokes in another country. It was an amazing feeling.
Man, you're amazing, bro. You're amazing. I started this podcast because I wanted to celebrate people that I consider living legends and people I feel like are making legendary moves, bro. And you are that, man. You somebody that I've looked up to since I was a young teenager kid. I still love watching you work. Anytime I get to see you perform in LA, man.
Thank you. Tonight, man, I'm going up at the Laugh Factory. Ruben Pauls, you've been to Ruby too?
Yeah, man. I need it. Yeah, I do that sometimes. I be forgetting to hit him up when I'm in town.
It's a nice mixed crowd. I like working out different stuff for different nights.
I'm gonna go to the Comedy Store tonight. My homeboys got a show, Matt Rife and Paul.
Oh, okay,
Elijah.
okay. I'm having my 30-year anniversary show. Have you performed at the Comedy Chateau?
I love the Comedy Show. I'm there every weekend.
Love it. I love it so much that I'm doing my 30-year anniversary book launch comedy show, and I got a lineup of guys that I came up with that we haven't all been in the same place at the site. Chris Spencer's on the show with me. Buddy Lewis is on the show with me. Sully McCullough. It's almost gonna be like a Don't Be a Menace reunion.
Yeah,
Daryl Heath hasn't touched the stage in 10 years.
He's performing?
And he's performing.
I'm not even lying when I say this. This is gonna sound so disrespectful. I thought he was dead.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
I've had people ask me, is he still alive?
I thought he was dead for real.
That's why. I mean, I asked that.
Somebody must have said it or something.
Okay. No, we've been best friends since we were little kids. Started out the same. For the people that don't know who Daryl Heath is, in Don't Be a Menace, he was Toothpick.
Yeah.
He was one of the funniest dudes ever. I mean, he wrote for Eddie Murphy. He wrote for, Will Smith. Everybody. He's one of the funniest dudes ever. But he just had a life change. He became a born-again Christian.
Okay.
He got kind of caught up in a little conspiracy theory type dudes, but I love him to death. And he's going to be on the show that night.
When is this?
It is Saturday, October the 1st at the Comedy Chateau. And it's crazy. You know how big the place is.
Yeah, I love it.
It's very small. It's intimate. It's only 120 seats.
Oh, that's it? Yeah.
And we're not charging, so it's just like kind of a reservation thing. And dude, they're already telling me 3 weeks out. It's damn near sold out. So I'm a little nervous because it's gonna be like a family reunion for me.
Yeah.
It's celebrating with people I love.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be fun to celebrate. And I'm promoting my book.
Yeah, talk about your book. We finna get out of here, but what's the book?
Yes, the book is called The Funny Don't Stop. It's my first book. It's actually climbing up the Amazon bestseller list right now. It's only been out for 4 weeks now, and it's climbing up the list. So anybody, they go to my Instagram at Funnyman Alex Thomas. Funnyman Alex Thomas. Click the link in the bio, and it'll take you straight to Amazon. And it was my pandemic project, man. It took me 2 years to write it. I'm not gonna lie, I was going through some serious anxiety issues during the pandemic. I was really like, yo, are we ever gonna hit a stage again? Will there ever be crowds again? Are we ever gonna do this stand-ups thing? And an amazing artist, dude by the name of Mike Goldstein, slid into my DMs.
I'm guessing he's Jewish.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was just like, yo, I'm a big fan. I was like, oh, thanks. He goes, I'm an artist. I was like, dope. Let me see some stuff. Blew me away with his art. Next thing you know, he was turning a ton of my jokes into animation and illustration. I was so blown away by his work. Before I knew it, we had 60-something pages. Cut to my first book, The Funny Don't Stop. It's on Amazon right now, and it's great, man. I know we're living in a digital age and everything's on your laptop, but there's still a good old-fashioned sit on the toilet, hard copy coffee table book.
Yeah, that's great, bro.
Yeah, so
that's
The Funny Don't Stop. Get it on Amazon.
Check that out, man. I shared it on my IG story.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan and supporter, bro. Say your socials, man. Thank you for coming through. But what's your socials? Let them know your socials.
Social media at Funnyman Alex Thomas. I have a podcast. I got to have you on it. Also, it's called The Funny Don't Stop Show. So at The Funny Don't Stop Show, we're going on almost 5 seasons, almost 200 episodes of the Funny Don't Stop show. I'm on iHeart, I'm on iTunes, I'm on YouTube, Spotify, everything. The Funny Don't Stop show, and that's the name of my next 1 hour special. The Funny Don't Stop.
Hey man, if he's ever in your city, I promise you gonna laugh your ass off.
When is this going up?
Shit. Not maybe next week. Next week.
Okay,
we gonna be on the road this weekend.
Okay, if it's going on next week, if anybody sees this, I know next weekend. This weekend I'm in Tacoma, Washington. The weekend after that, I'm at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
Good.
But then Cleveland, Ohio, I'm at the Cleveland Improv, and that's September 23rd and 24th. So yeah.
Good. Oh, it'll be up by then for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Hey man. Urban Legends, man, celebrating living legends. People, I feel like a living legends making legendary moves. Alex Thomas, phenomenal conversation. You're a phenomenal brother. You're a king, bro. Appreciate you, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
We out.